In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the number one thing that is killing contractors, exactly why it's happening, and most importantly, we're going to talk about how to fix it. And I know this may sound dramatic, but just a week ago, I was on the phone with my mom and she was telling me a story of the basement contractor that just finished her basement about a couple months ago, and he had actually just died of a heart attack at the age of 43. So this is a super serious topic, and it doesn't just relate to death and dying, it can also be even the business dying itself. So what's the main reason for this stress? Stress is mainly caused, especially as a contractor, by the lack of money. Because here's the thing, I know a lot of you may not agree, but here's the thing, right? If we have more money as a contractor, we can buy things that will take away a lot of our other stresses. Like we can buy things like marketing, right? Buy more leads. We can also buy more support staff, like office staff. We can buy estimators, we can buy project managers. There's so many things. So money truly does solve a lot of the stress problems as a contractor. And we are gonna be breaking down what causes the money problems, which is the virtuous versus the vicious pricing cycle as coined by Alex Hormozi, but we're gonna be breaking down exactly how that relates to you as a contractor. So what is the vicious price cycle and how does it relate to you as a contractor, and why do 90% of contractors actually fall into this loop? And it actually happened to me too. And when we all start, we go into business, we have the same thought, right? Like we wanna do good work, we wanna have a great service, and we even wanna provide our service and our product for a reasonable price, because we think that if we do our product and our service and we provide that at a really good price, that we're actually taking care of the customer. But what it actually does is it enters us into the vicious pricing cycle, and I'll explain how it works. So it all begins, we have that thought, right? We have the thought, I want to help my customer, so I'm going to lower the price and I'm going to help them. But then as time goes, we start getting more and more referrals, we get busy, and at first all seems to be going good because a lot of people are hiring us, our sales ratio is probably really high, and we are staying busy. And as contractors, we think that if we're staying busy, that we're making money, when in reality, I can't tell you how many contractors, specifically concrete contractors, that I talk to every single day who are busy as all get out, but at the end of the day, they have no money left in their bank account. So then as contractors, what do we think, right? In that moment, I talk to a lot of people and they think that the problem is that they're not big enough. So what do? They might add a second crew. They might add a third crew. They might start hiring all these people. And then what happens is the business actually gets worse because we're providing this great service, or what we're trying to do, this great service, but we don't have very much margin or very much pricing. All of a sudden, the only way for us to make money is by taking on a vast volume of work. But then what starts to happen? All of a sudden, our results start to go down because now all of a sudden we can't be on the job site babysitting all of our guys. And on top of that, we don't have money to hire support staff. So as a whole, our service per customer actually is going down over time. And the hard part is because now we have a bigger and bigger business to feed, we have to sell even more jobs. But here's the other thing. If we're not charging enough money, we also barely even have money for marketing, right? So now we're in this predicament. We don't have money for marketing, but we need to sell a lot of jobs. So what do a lot of contractors do? They start to lower their prices even more because they start to get desperate, right? They start to get desperate, and what they want to do is they try to take on as much work as possible, and they're afraid that if they raise their prices, that they're not going to be able to keep their guys busy, and that is why we call this the vicious pricing cycle. Okay, so then on the counter side, we have the virtuous pricing cycle. And let me explain, that is basically the exact opposite as the vicious pricing cycle. And the biggest indicator, one at the very top, is pricing. So one, are we lowering prices and trying to be competitive and all that? Or are we raising prices and trying to provide a more premium service? If we do the virtuous pricing cycle, what does that look like? So from a very high level, one, as price goes up, so does the emotional investment from our customer. Also, the coolest thing is the perceived value of your service actually goes up just by simply raising your price. And I know that we've talked about this study before, but I want to share this because it's such a great example. If I were to have 3 bottles of wine, 1, 2, and 3, and the only thing that you could see as the consumer is the price tag. Let's say this one is $5, this one is $50, and this one is $200. Even if all 3 bottles of wine are the same, if I were to taste test all 3 in studies, they've shown that people prefer to drink the more expensive wine, even if it's the same exact wine and they didn't know it. So what does that mean? If we raise the price of your service, your customers will actually want to work with you more. What is some of the other great things about raising your prices? Once you raise your prices, we can provide a better service, right? All of a sudden, we don't have to rush job after job after job, we can actually take our time and do the project right. Because we all know in construction, what happens all the time is the unexpected happens, right? Like we have weather problems, we have issues when tearing out concrete. There's just always issues. But the thing is, if you always plan for everything to be perfect every single step of the way, either you're gonna have to do one, you're gonna have to cut corners, or two, you're gonna have to nickel and dime your customer every time some little thing happens. And at the end of the day, even if you're providing a cheaper service, your customer is gonna feel cheated because you didn't take care of them from a high level of service. But the only way to do that, right, is by charging these higher prices. And I know a lot of you, your argument is gonna be the same because I hear it all the time. They say, well, Tyler, if I raise my prices, I'm going to lose work. And you are correct to a degree. Your closing ratio on your leads might go from like 50 to 70% down to like 20 to 30%. But what I'm about to tell you that makes it all okay is you have to supplement this with extra marketing. As a business, if you can charge 20% or 30% more than what you're charging right now, only a very small portion of that will have to go to marketing. Say 10 to 20% of the increase in price will go to marketing. But then what will happen is in your sales process, it will be amazing. No longer will you have to go to a customer, act desperate, have to cut a deal just to get them to work with you. You will approach it from a whole different mindset, and that mindset will make people want to work with you even more. Because instead of going to a customer acting desperate, you're gonna go there acting like you want to help, but at the same time, you don't need them just as bad as they don't need you. And so it more has to be a mutual relationship together, not just them take from you because you're desperate. Then over time, as your business grows, you'll actually have money in the bank. You could hire things like office managers, project managers. You could actually hire the support staff to justify these higher prices and provide a true premium product and service. And at the end of the day, charging more, I know that we think that we're ripping people off, but what we're actually doing is being able to provide them better service, better quality of product, and an overall better experience. So that's why they call it the virtuous pricing cycle, because you're gonna be able to act virtuous. People are gonna like you more, wanna work with you more, you're gonna have a better experience, and overall, your business and you are not gonna die due to stress because this style of business is just so much better. All right, that is really it for today's video. So if you guys like this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you check the link down below in the description for our mastermind. That's a place where other concrete contractors get together and we can bounce ideas off each other, learn. It also includes over 40 exclusive video lessons that go way more in depth than the stuff that I'm talking about now. So leave a like and subscribe, check out the mastermind, and I'll see you guys in the next video.